All right. In the meantime, we were looking at open source versus closed source. And that typically refers to software, right? It can also refer to hardware as well, but typically refers to software. But can anybody tell me the difference between open source and closed source?
Normally, open source, the person shares all their background information, how they develop their software, and it's open to you for free use, free access.
Right, it's open to you for free use, free access. You can see the source code, and you're also allowed to change the source code to customize it to your need. Give me an example of an open source software.
You just talk about Ubuntu.
What?
We were just talking about Linux, one of those.
Linux. Yeah, give me another one. Give me another one. What are the most popular ones in use today?
Python. Python is a coding language.
What about Android?
Android.
Android, right. That was asking about Android. And the best example we can find for closed source is iOS. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right. You can only get iOS from Apple, and you cannot do anything with their code. Their code is their code. It only works on iPhones, for iPhones, by iPhone. All right. Open source means, well, for Android, you have a number of different companies using Android, because any company can really take the Android operating system, install it on their hardware, and run it. And they can even customize it for their hardware if they need. All right. The key for tech is to know the specific licenses paid for by a company to ensure that the company abides by those licenses. In Dominica, less of an issue because, you know, with the Pirates of the Caribbean, right? But using pirated software or exceeding the use limits set by the end user license agreements, or using private license programs in a commercial enterprise is theft. No matter how easy it is to do in practice, pirating is theft, and A+ does not encourage it in any way, shape, or form. All right, don't say I don't tell you that. Reporting. As a final weapon in your security arsenal, you need to report any security issues so a network administrator or technician can take steps to resolve them. You can also set up auditing within Windows so that the operating system reports problems to you. Event Viewer enables you to read the logs created by auditing. You can then do your work and report those problems. So again, the use of Event Viewer can allow your computer to record certain events or audit certain events that you could keep track of, right? But again, we're not going to go through it in this class specifically, right? A+ certification don't test you on creating brilliant auditing policy for your office. Really and truly, audit policies is what network administrators do, but you need to know what auditing does and how to turn it on or off so you can provide support for network administrators in the field. So we know that auditing, what it does is it keeps track of certain events in the, right? It records them in the Event Viewer so you can look at them and act on them. All right. So not auditing at the local level, go to local security policy in administrative tools. Select local policies and then click audit policy. Double click on one of the policy options, select one of both of the check boxes in the properties dialog box that opens. So again, you can try that out on your own. All right. We're not gonna be going through it tonight. So that's your event viewer. We already know what that looks like. And it shows you your various events, application events, security events, system events, and so on. All right. And then we can see our local security policy again. We were just talking about the security policies from the administrative tools control panel. Incident reporting. Once you've got the data about a particular system, or you've dealt with a computer or network problem, you need to complete the mission by telling your supervisor. This is called incident reporting. Many companies have pre-made forms that you simply fill out and submit. Other places are less formal. Regardless, you need to do this, all right? Incident reporting does a couple things for you. First, it provides a record of work you've accomplished. Second, it provides a piece of information that when combined with other information you might or might not know, reveals a pattern or a bigger problem to someone higher up the chain. So you may report on something, and maybe something that management is already monitoring and they're just looking at, right? So you reporting it might actually put you in a better position. It might indemnify you from accusation and so on, all right? So a similarly innocuous security audit report, for example, might match other such events in numerous places in the building at the same time and thus show the cause was conscious, coordinated action rather than a glitch. All right. So anytime you notice a problem of any sort, you need to report it higher up. Any security breaches, any unauthorized access, anything of that sort needs to be reported. It might mean you get some people in trouble, but that's what it is. Evidence handling, and that little section there is not long, but it's very important, especially in the rare instances where police or the authorities may get involved in an investigation, right? As a tech, you'll need to deal with people who use company computers in prohibited ways. In most cases, you're not paid to be the police and should not get involved. There are times, however, when something really bad takes place on one of the systems you support, and if you're the first person there, everyone is going to turn to you for action. Let me just give you an example. It's probably a relevant more than the example, but let's just say you happen to find instances of pornography or not even pornography, but child pornography on somebody's computer. It's a work computer. First of all, they're not supposed to be having that type of media on the computer, but you discover it. What do you do? What is your job? What is your duty as the system administrator or the technician supporting that system? What is your job at that point? Or let's say you're working for the government and you notice that there is top secret or confidential information that is should not be on that system, but you find it there anyway. Well,
You report it to your supervisor.
so in these cases, you've just become the first line of defense and you need to act accordingly. Let's address the objectives as listed by Comptia for the 902 exam. And I think it should be the same, right? On the 1001, 1002, which is the exams you'll be doing. So first thing you need to do is identify the action or content as prohibited. And it should be easy to identify. If you identify it as prohibited, top secret, child pornography, other prohibited data or other prohibited content that shouldn't be there, or other prohibited action that was taken, right? Then, what is the next step? You report through the proper channels. So in most cases, you take it directly to your supervisor or to your higher up, right? And then they will take it, they will elevate it wherever they need to. All right. One of the things that you may require to do is data or device preservation, especially in the case of an investigation. Why? Because you need to establish what is called the chain of custody, meaning when the people go to court to answer for their crime and they coming up with evidence, if evidence missing, they're going to ask who touched the evidence and your name might come up, right? In the chain of custody, you want to ensure that you have a documented history of who's been in possession of the system since you identified the issue until you pass it up and it's out of your possession. So what do you do for that? One, you isolate the system. You shut it down places where nobody else can access it. You shut it down, you unplug it, and you secure it. Then you document when you took control of the system, the actions you took, right? And where you put the computer. And then you need to also make a note of when you transfer the computer to another person. If your supervisor picked it up, if a police officer picked it up, if a Secret Service agent picked it up, you need to make a note of that so that you are indemnified in the case of a court case. Let's just put it like that, all right?